Hi everyone, welcome to the Hands Up for Trad afternoon show. I'm really enjoying this autumn weather. I was just wondering if anyone would like to tell me, does that mean that the grass is going to stop growing anytime soon? Well, I flipping hope so. Answers in the comments, please. Also, I want to flag up that next Friday, 4th of June, is Hands Up for Trad's Geese a Scots Phrase Day, and we are looking for everyone who hasn't spoken Scots before to give it a shot, and then video yourself on and put yourself on social media speaking some Scots. And of course, many of us do speak Scots anyway, so we're asking you to put up your favourite Scots phrase on social media. It could be something like, lang may your lum reek, and you would video yourself and you'll put it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever with the hashtag Geese a Scots Phrase Day. It'll be fantastic. You'll remember in February we did what was it called? Say a Gaelic Phrase Day, and it was a brilliant day. So we're hoping for the same for Scots. And of course, you can find out more information about that at geeseascotsphraseday.com. That's Geese, Gies. And finally, you could join us tonight to watch Ali Heather interviewing Steve Byrne in Scots on our Facebook and Hands Up for Trad channels. Now remember and tell us where you're watching from and share the show with your friends. Please welcome our very special guest today from Gnoss, Graham Rory and Aidan Moody.
Hi.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi guys, can you tell us where we are today?
Yes, I'm up north in Orkney at home.
No, I'm talking about the picture behind us.
Oh, well, same answer. A beautiful ring of Rodger, I believe.
It's a great photo. It looks like you're there too, Graham.
That's it, yeah. I'm wishing I was there. I'm heading up to Orkney soon, but I'm in sunny Glasgow just now.
In fact, Graham, I was actually going to ask you and Aidan if you have a favourite Orcadian Scots phrase.
Jeez. The first one that came to mind was "What like boy." I don't know if that's my favourite, but
Says it all.
No. Just trying to think of clean ones without any bad language in them.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll leave you to think about it just now, and maybe later in the show when you remember them all, because they'll all come flooding back to you, especially after 2:30 when we finish. But we're going to watch a lovely video that I spotted on YouTube today from Julie Fowlis, Eamon Dourley, Zoe Conway and John McIntyre. And these guys have got a band together and they released an album a couple of years ago and it's lovely. And this is actually a really beautiful song called La Rule.
La Royal, La Royal, David La Royal, La Royal, La Royal, Janet La Royal, La Royal, La Royal, Janet La Royal, Neath the Becky May Arishu. Our spirits are green, they are ring a Sunday. Tokar and Gian Mordueng, it's ni faka kame wish maravi. La Royal, La Royal, Janet La Royal, La Royal, La Royal, Janet La Royal, La Royal, La Royal, Janet La Royal, Laroy, Janet Laroy. Laroy, Laroy, Janet Laroy. Ni faka peki me arishu.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. And look out for their first album, and there's the second album complete with that track is on the way, according to the YouTube channel. So great. So guys, congratulations on your brand new album. Let's have a look at it actually. The Light of the Moon. I was saying to Graham the other day there that it's a fantastic album. It really feels like it's come together for you. How did it come together, Aidan?
Yeah, well, it kind of came together in a 3-week recording block at Scott Wood's studio there, Oak Ridge Studios. And we were just quite lucky. We were speaking about this the other day, actually, that we were kind of afforded a lot more time to write the piece and then record it just because we were stuck in one place the whole time. So yeah, we're going to say a thank you to the pandemic for that. The one silver lining, actually having the time to write what sounds like a cohesive piece of work for once. So yeah, Graham and Connor wrote the tunes kind of by themselves over lockdown 1, and I wrote the songs, and then we took them to each other in the autumn to rehearse and arrange it together in Glasgow.
One of the things that jumps out at me, Graham, about the album is actually Craig Baxter's fantastic bowring playing, because it's not a kit, but his rhythm throughout it is really good.
Yeah, no, it's something that totally it underpins it, because obviously with Aidan's guitar style and then locking in, and I suppose just a few more years of us all playing together, it's become a really tight unit that kind of enhances the tunes and moves in parallels with it. And then with James Lindsay on the bass too, there's just this really solid backing that's, yeah, really chuffed with how that turned out and how it all gelled together.
It really does gel together. And I noticed in one of your other videos that you're playing electric guitar in it as well.
That's it. Yeah, I picked up it's an electric tenor guitar. I just seen them advertised online and thought that would give me something to muck around with. But it's really good fun. It's a totally different animal to play than a fiddle or a mandolin, just getting into the electric feel. But it was nice for the songs. It's just a slightly more modern sound than.
So what is a tenor guitar?
So it's strung exactly the same as a fiddle or a mandolin. It's just 4 strings, G, D, A, E. In fact, I've got it sitting right here. This is it.
Oh yeah.
So it's made by a company called Eastwood Guitars. It's just a bit of a toy, really, but it worked out quite nicely for a lot of the songs and things.
Oh, that's. It's really good. There wasn't enough guitar solos on the album, though. I felt, Aidan.
No, that's for the next one. It's going to be very electric guitar heavy. Just wait.
Totally progressive.
That's one word, yeah.
So you were saying, Aidan, that did you write all the songs on the album?
Yeah, I wrote the 4 songs, and I wrote one of them before lockdown, kind of start of 2020. 2 of them up in Orkney whilst I was here, staying for 6 weeks, which turned into 6 months. And then the final one that we wrote for the album was The River. So I would kind of write these myself, bring kind of demo versions to the band, and then we'd work on the arrangement together with the 4 of us, and that's how the album versions would take shape.
I think the songs in it are great. They're really catchy. We're going to watch the video of Cold Clay in a minute, and I sit like this when I'm listening to it. Yes. How do you write a song? What's your technique?
I think it always comes from something at the start, whether it's a little phrase of melody or a couple of lines that kind of inspire me to write a whole song, and then I'll sit and painfully try and flesh it out into 3 minutes for about 3 months. That's my process. So that's how we've only got 4, and I'll need another 1.5 years to do another, I think. So.
Are you good? Is words your thing?
I'm not sure. Trying to make them my thing, maybe. But yeah, I love sitting and really pulling apart other people's poetry and kind of seeing how you can use language and images that have been around for ages and kind of try and put a new spin on it. So.
Oh, that's good. What about you when you're writing, Graham? Do you take have an initial moment and spend 6 months honing it?
That's it. It's funny. I try and fill the page and then leave it alone, which sometimes causes problems when I take them to a rehearsal and they're not actually finished. But I tend to get similar idea. It'll be a short phrase or something, and then I just fill it in and put it away. I try not to painstakingly go through little intervals, but just look at the tune as a whole. Which usually means there's a couple of things get changed as you go, but I feel like it's how I work best.
Oh, that's interesting. Actually, I actually come up with an initial idea and then try to finish it. And of course, you come back and you change little bits of it, but actually, then I don't really come back to it at all because I just can't be bothered. So, tell us about Cold Clay before we watch it, Aidan.
Cold Clay was a song that I put together when I was just feeling kind of frustrated about a kind of lack of progress, really. That's about it. And we thought that it would be fun to pair this lyric with just a really upbeat kind of musical setting. And it all stemmed from a little guitar riff, the kind of guitar riff that you hear under the verses, which I put together at Sidmouth Folk Festival, I believe. So yeah, that's Cold Clay.
And just quickly before we watch it, Graham, you made me laugh the other day when we talked about the video for this. You said something about how we've spent a whole year staring at laptops.
That's it. Yeah, no, I think folk have gotten so used to watching things through a screen that we thought we'd just double the hit, so you can watch this on a screen on your screen.
Well, let's have a watch.
I started northward before the roosters crow. Clouds above and the dirt below. Turning soil with nothing to grow. Wishing on some sunlit grove. Days crawl on slow as January snow. Drifting deep against the bend. Still seasons turn shores, river water flows. You'll drown in the flood trying to see the end. Spend all your wages just to feel something. This stone is a diamond. It's cold clay, cold clay. In the morning work starts again. This stone is a diamond. It's cold clay, cold clay. Set sun, half poured liquor. She said, you don't know your best days until they drift away. A grey glow in a dirty mirror. So spend all your wages just to feel something. This stone is a diamond. It's cold clay, cold clay. In the morning work starts again. This stone is a diamond. It's cold clay, cold clay.
Yeah, it's great. I hope you were all bopping around there at home. Oh, actually, what's there's something missing here from my page. It's all your comments. They've disappeared. Let me just see who's all saying hello. Look, there's loads of people saying hello. Let's say hello to some people. Hello to Marianne Horn. Hi to Ray.
Hello, Marianne.
Hi Vincent. Hi Anne. Hi Gail. Hi Christine from Benbecula. Hi Tom from Japan. Fesker Ma. It's nice to see you. If you've got any questions for the guys, please fire them in. And I was also going to say, if you'd like to find out more about the band, go to gnossmusic.bandcamp.com. That you can hear it there as well. And of course, they do have a website, which is gnossmusic.com. So the band, when did the band start? Graham, sorry.
It's fine. Well, myself and Aidan, we went to school together in Orkney. That's over 10 years ago now, since we started kind of just playing tunes together and different kind of bits of bands and groups and community things in Orkney. And then when we moved to Glasgow, we decided that we'd get the whole um, making a fortune through being a folk musician thing. We thought we'd get that going, and formed the duo. And we got a Danny Kyle award in 2015, and then we ended up meeting with Connor and Craig through uni, and we just got on really well. And we'd always kind of planned. The reason we never named the band after the two of us was because the idea was to expand at some point. So we kept it as Gnoss, and yeah, that's been 4 years as a quartet now, which is, we're very lucky just that it's still kind of ticking away.
I mean, you, Aidan, I mean, I've seen you playing as a duo quite a lot, and you obviously, I mean, I think you obviously understand each other's music when you're playing together.
Yeah, I think it's just through playing music together for so long, you kind of skip a lot of the communicative stuff now. You know, it's things kind of go unsaid. We kind of know the decisions that we're going to be making. I think if you did anything with someone for over a decade, it would it would start to get a little easier. So, but it's good fun now that we play as the four piece, because when we do get to do things as a duo, maybe corporate things and stuff, it feels fresh and it's just like, having a tune.
Yeah, I was watching a wee video of you both today, Graham, at Glen Eagles, playing to an empty dining room.
That was our most appreciative audience we've ever played to, I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, that is your corporate gig for you, isn't it? And was Craig the original bowling player in the band?
Yeah, so originally, when we first started thinking about doing the quartet stuff, we'd done a duo album, and it was my old flatmate and our uni pal Gregor Kincaid. He did the first bit of Baran, and Connor, they kind of guested on that album.
I see.
And then we did some gigs then that summer across, and then Craig joined just before Christmas then, the next year. In place
Yeah,
of
because
Gregor.
I just saw an early video, because it looked like Gregor had great hair.
That's it.
Oh, he did. Best hair in the band.
Yeah, we've not topped that
It's a low
yet.
bar though, so
Well, there's plenty of time. You still all got full heads of hair, The Mohicans could still come.
yeah, just wait until our Christmas tour, I'll tell you.
I mean, and also as a band, you played in lots of really interesting places round the world. Do you have any favourites?
One of my favourites has got to be Celtica Festival in Italy. Just this kind of weekend of music up in the Alps, basically, and the main stage looks out over these mountain ranges, and it's surrounded by forest, which, as an Orkney man, is something just completely incredible. The amount of trees there just blew me away. So that weekend in the sun was one of my highlights for sure.
Oh, what about you, Graham?
I would say that one's definitely up there for me. Doing a sound check, looking at Mount Blanc was quite cool. But we had a trip out, that'll be 3 years ago now nearly. We went to Lorient in France. It was just an incredible weekend. There was a lot of Scottish bands out. And I think anybody that's been to that festival, they just can't say enough good things about it. It's a pretty incredible place to be for that space of time. So
Yeah, I actually
a bit
saw
of
a
a
Facebook post yesterday saying that the Lorient Festival is happening this year.
Oh,
Hannah
incredible.
Rarity is one of the acts that's going out to it, which is great.
Great, that'd be great.
Tell me about your trip to Russia, because I've always wanted to visit Russia.
That was a fine one. That was one of our last gigs, actually. As before the lockdown, I remember coming back through Amsterdam airport and people wearing masks and kind of, wonder what they're thinking on hindsight. But we met up with a chap called Mitya. We met him at the Manchester Folk Festival at the English Folk Expo. Just kind of got chatting over a cup of coffee, and he says, I'm doing a thing with the British Arts Council to do a kind of folk night in Russia. Would you fancy it if we could get it all set up? And then we went out. We landed in Moscow and drove the 8 hours up to Yaroslav and Rybinsk. We did 2 nights there. And it was brilliant. It was a really interesting place. Really, really friendly. Like the people just couldn't do enough for you.
And yeah, the gigs were great as well, weren't they? The audiences were so appreciative. I think we pulled bigger crowds over there than we do here. It was it was quite something.
There is something about foreign gigs, though, isn't it? Playing in a castle or something that are sold out and they don't have a clue who you are, but they all love you.
Yeah, totally. It's probably our translator was making us seem a lot more charming than we are. That's what we think it is. We're going to bring him over, I think.
I mean, you did, Aidan, you did a Russian chat show as well when you were there.
Yeah, we did. I'm not quite sure how that came to be a thing that was happening, but I'm told that we went down very well. So
Well,
that's
we
all
have
that
a
matters.
clip. It actually makes you look like you're actually speaking Russian
I was
as well.
doing that.
Well, let the viewers at home watch it.
Все лица, во-первых, вот как знакомые сразу же, да? Такое ощущение, что как будто они вот родные. Я думаю, что мы будем продолжать играть долго, если только мы друг друга не переубиваем.
Почему вы не в килтах?
Они слишком тяжелые, чтобы тащить их сюда. Конечно, их прям бурно встречали овациями, а в конце они вообще встали, встал зал, не отпускал их, то есть они бис играли. Слушайте нашу музыку.
Oh, great. So that was Gnoss speaking Russian. And followed by the gig in Lorient that we talked about. It does look like an amazing festival, Graham.
Yeah, no, quite something. I think the population of Lorient goes from something like, I think it increases by 750,000 for the course of the festival, which is a pretty massive influx of people.
Oh, I must admit, I've actually never been. I have to say, my wife's been with our band Deaf Shepherd many times, but I've never made it. So one day.
There's still time yet, Simon. We'll put in a good word for you, don't we?
Oh, brilliant. What about Gnoss and gigs? What do you have anything coming up to celebrate this fabulous album?
Yeah, well, we are absolutely delighted to be playing in England at the end of July. We've got 4 gigs hosted by the Nest Collective's Campfire Club. We're playing in Bristol, Sheffield, London, and Brighton, I think. Did I get that right, Graham? Good. And I'm particularly excited because we're closing the 4-date run on my 25th birthday on the 25th. So fingers crossed that we'll be on stage for that.
Oh, that'll be great. And can people find out about that at your website? They can, yes.
All the tickets are up.
Yeah, they're all on sale now. So if you want to join us in England at the end of July. So
gnossmusic.com. So yeah, definitely check it out. It'll be great, actually. So really good. But I mean, of course, you guys are, apart from Gnoss, you're very busy as well with your own projects. Aidan, you've not long joined Manran. And obviously it was going to be a lot busier in Manran than it has been. But
it was, yeah.
You've got some great gigs coming up. You've got an English festival, and then you're headed to Germany in October.
Yeah, so it's good to see all that stuff trickling back in. I thought it'd be slightly busier. I think maybe the guys kind of honeypotted me a bit to get me into the band. You know, it's actually been a lot quieter than they promised it would be, but I've stuck with it. It's funny, it still feels very fresh, even though I did join well over a year ago now. I think it was the very tail end of 2019, and we've done about 8 gigs. So I'm looking forward to properly getting on the road, especially that German tour in the autumn. That'll be great.
Will you write any songs for the band?
We did a tiny bit of writing for this next album. Kim and I, we've got a co-write on that record, which I believe might be coming out towards the end of this year, but you didn't hear that from me.
That's exciting. And just before we chat to Graham about his amazing thing that's about to happen on Friday, you've also released a single, Aidan, called Welcome. How did that come about?
Yes, well, that just I was just a little bit bored this year, and I thought, why not? I'd been doing a bit more songwriting than stuff that I'd used with Gnoss, and there was some material that kind of felt like it was more of my own. So I got together with my buddy Ewan White from Lapwing, and we just made some kind of crazier sounds and just really went to town with it. Total vanity project. We're just not made it very listenable, but people seem to be enjoying it. So
will there be any more? Is there more than the one that I've got?
Yeah, I just put out one last week actually, so it's hot off the presses. It's called Old You, and you can see that on Spotify under Aidan Moody. Would you believe?
Is it on Bandcamp as well?
No, I'm kind of sitting on my hands. There's some plans in the works for that, but yeah, you can stream it on all your services. So.
Excellent. Well, I'll maybe get you to send it to me then, and I'll play it on our podcast on Tuesday. So,
Great.
But as we mentioned, Graham, even more exciting is you have your brand new album, The Orcadians of Hudson Bay, coming out on Friday, and we do have the cover of that too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's funny. As Aidan said, it kind of feels a wee bit like a vanity project as well. I'd been planning for a long time. There was essentially, the long and short of it is, there was a lot of Arcadians went across between the 17th to the kind of 1700s to the 1900s. They travelled across to work for this company called the Hudson's Bay Company in the fur trade. And eventually it ended up being that there was loads and loads of Arcadians ended up there. About 79% of the company. It was 415 out of 520 staff were from Orkney. So it's a pretty major part of the history, and I've always noted that there's been characters that, I might write a tune about them, and eventually I just decided I would go with an album, and it's finally happened.
And it was also a Celtic Connection show in January of 2020.
Yeah, that's right. So it was actually I mind chatting with yourself and getting that all set up, and it was the kind of thing that made me finally kick on and do it. We did the show at Celtic with the same band that's on the album, and we also had Levant du Nord in to do a couple of collaborations, which was pretty special. It was an amazing night, and I think having done the gig itself meant that I could go on and do the album, and I got very generous support from Creative Scotland to make all that happen. So yeah, it's been quite the year.
And it's a great album. It's well written. I mean, there's loads of different parts to it. Did it take you long to write it?
It's funny. I've been kind of like working on the melodies and the tunes in their like standard format for a long time, but I ended up writing the scored parts a bit too close to the Celtic gig, actually. It was nearly a bit hairy. And then, yeah, just over lockdown, I've kind of refined it and gone over the bits in the gig that I wanted changed. And again, like the Gnoss album, I just had time on my hands to work at it, which was a kind of strange luxury to go for.
Well, we're going to watch a clip of Babish. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's right. So that's an Inuit word. There's a couple of tracks that come from Inuit words, and that one was for the raw hide that they used to make snowshoes. And loads of the Arcadians apparently adapted to walking in snowshoes really, really well. So I thought that was due a wee reel.
Right, well, we're going to watch, it's a promo video you put up, and we're going to watch it from around the middle, because I don't know, I love a key change. And there's a key change at the end, so you can maybe just tell us a little bit about it when it's over, and because you'll recognise all the bits of it. So here it is. fantastic. So tell us about, is any of these images in that video, Graham, pertinent to the Hudson Bay thing?
That's it. So I got it's an amazing drone operator and videographer called Colin Keldy from Orkney. He does a lot of work with the folk festival as well, and I kind of said to him I wanted to have footage of a lot of meaningful points to the history, but have it mainly as footage rather than a history lesson kind of thing for folk. So every image is tied to something. There's a big kind of section square buildings there, and that was a school that was built by a man that grew up on the same island as me. He went out to Canada and founded the trading part that became Edmonton. And then he sent his money back when he passed and built a house and that school. And there was another building there that was John Ray, the explorer. It was his family home that they're renovating it just now to get it back to be a bit of a visitor centre. So each bit in the video is linked, but I try and make it so that folk can guess and make it up for themselves a little bit.
One of the things I noticed about the album, like the Gnoss album as well, but the recording quality of your album is fabulous. I have to say, it sounds great. Where did you record it?
That was done with Andrea Gobi at Glowworm here in Glasgow. I'm a bit of a stickler for audio myself. I love well recorded things, and Andrea was just perfect to work with. He kind of captured the sound, but I think I've come to notice, same with the Gnoss album, even though they're quite heavily produced, they've got a kind of, I'm always looking for a liveness and an energy from a recording that I think can just give it that bit of edge to listen to. So really chuffed with how they've turned out.
Oh, and so you should be. So you should be. Just a few things. There's Christine Mitchell says you can't wait for Graham's CD to arrive in the post. And a couple other folks saying hello. Adam Young is watching from Cape Breton. Great. Gail from Yorkshire, but her heart's in the Tolsta and the Isle of Lewis. There's Lorraine from Paisley, loving the music. There's Marianne, looking forward to seeing you in Germany, Aidan, with the band. So we should say that to get Graham's album, The Arcadians of Hudson Bay, it's grahamrory.bandcamp.com. Is that correct?
It is indeed, yeah.
And I've got it, and it's definitely worth a listen. Now, we're going to finish off quite soon, but this show. But I wanted to asking you about, Aidan, how your part with the Orkney Folk Festival over the years, which is just coming up. There's a virtual Orkney Folk Festival, but also you and Graham run the Gathering for a couple of years. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, we were very lucky to be asked to be the kind of co-musical directors of the Gathering Generations. It was one of their iterations. The Gatherings run for years and years, and every year it's got a new focus. There was a transatlantic one, which, that's kind of self-explanatory, and there was an Isles one which brought together Orkney and Shetland musicians. So the Gathering Generations, we were put in charge with to bring like a whole range of different ages of Orkney musicians, and it was really just incredible. Folk that we've both grown up listening to, kind of sharing the stage with us at a sold-out gig at the Fruit Market at Celtic Connections. So definitely a career highlight, that one.
Yeah, and how did it work, Graham? Did you have to pull all the tunes together?
Yeah, so there's a kind of bank of material that's been used just for rehearsal's sake. There's some kind of common sets that run through, and then we tried to incorporate some musicians their own work as well. So we had Farah, they came in and we did a song with them. Did a couple of Saltfish 40 sets, a couple of songs with Chris Drever. We also had Jessica Burton, the harpist. She played a set and arranged it for the group. And yeah, kind of just delegated the music around to fill the 2-hour show with one rehearsal and 52 musicians. So it was a pretty manic day. But
I know. I don't know how we got away with it when you put it like that, actually.
That's it.
I think if anyone wants to watch it, I think the Celtic Connections concert is on YouTube, isn't it? There's 2 hours
the
of
whole
it.
show.
Yeah, you can see the whole show, and that'll be a good warm-up for watching the virtually Orkney Folk Festival this weekend, I would say.
And tell me, how can you watch the virtual Orkney Folk Festival, Aidan?
if you go to the Orkney Folk Festival's website, you can buy a pass for the whole weekend, and it's £40, and you get access to full-length concerts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think there's multiple things on Saturday and Sunday, including the virtual premiere of The Arcadians of Hudson's Bay. Is that right, Graham?
Yes, your check's in the
Yes.
post.
Thank you.
And are Gnoss performing as well?
Yeah, we were lucky enough to do a half-hour set for the festival, recorded in Glasgow, specially bespoke. So it's one of the only times we've actually been able to play our new album since we put it out. So we're very excited to share that with everyone this weekend.
Well, I'll have to say I'm looking forward to getting you the band to play at the Hands Up for Trad Music Club as soon as possible as well. I think that'd be great. I'm really looking forward just to hearing the album played live. And all your catchy wee songs, we can all just have a wee dance.
Perfect. You can make the TikTok dance for us, Simon.
Oh, yes, totally, yes. I'll ask my children how you do that. We're just going to watch a quick video because I think we should show it. It's, who is it that's singing a song as part of the gathering at the folk festival? Jolly. Is that
Billy
correct?
Jolly.
Billy Jolly
Yeah.
singing this great song.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, let's watch him singing.
For a while we walked out on that darkened shore. No winking portline slang to glint the wave-top shore. There were loans who came, but will return no more. Who got asleep in lonely Scapa-Flow. But that was yesterday, for now they come no more. Among the small green isles, whereof they live, and so we linger sadly by that empty shore, shed a tear for lovely Scapa-Flow. Yes, that was yesterday, for now they come no more. Among the small green isles, whereof they live, and so we linger sadly by an empty shore, and shed a tear for lonely Scapa-Flow. And so we linger sadly by an empty shore, and shed a tear for lonely Scapa-Flow.
That was great, actually. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming on today. It's been brilliant to chat to you.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, it's been great.
So let's just remember all the links going from last to first. We've got grahamrory.bandcamp.com, and then we have got gnossmusic.bandcamp.com, and definitely check out the album, and actually for all details of the band's gigs, gnossmusic.com as well. So excellent. Can't say any more than that. Did you think of any phrases, Graham?
I actually did. There was one came to mind related to the Gnoss album. There's a tune that I wrote called Tuction, and I didn't realise it wasn't a Oxford Dictionary English word, but it's a very unique Orkney word for wear and tear. So I quite used to the phrase, that's teen a lot of tuction, which is, that's had a lot of wear and tear.
There you go. I look forward to seeing your video on the 4th of June.
That's it. That's it. Now I've done it.
Yeah, I'll just capture this. So I'll see you later, guys. Thanks very much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sam.